Good day and welcome to Alena TV. We are broadcasting from Toronto, Canada. I am Elsa Abraham. Today's episode, we are giving you African news. Let's go for our headlines. Ethiopia marks Eritrea festival amidst pandemic and chaotic unrest. Mali seeks spike in malaria cases, fatalities. Ethiopia also bans flight over mega dam for security. Kenya MPs face arrest over deadly political clash, and 8 migrants dead and 12 missing off the Djibouti coast. Welcome back from that short commercial break. And in Ethiopia, wearing face masks and white clothes, people from Ethiopia's Oromo nation descended on the capital, Addis Ababa, to mark the annual Thanksgiving festival known as Eritrea on Saturday. The crowds were significantly smaller due to political tensions and the COVID-19 pandemic. Hundreds of people were arrested ahead of the festival, some accused by authorities of plotting terror attacks and a new wave of arrests. The reason there are few people this year is because it is better for our health and peace. And for that reason, the only people invited are the ones observing the celebration. That way, people can protect themselves from COVID-19 while celebrating the holiday. We are observing the holiday respecting the directives announced by the government, said Ede Lawit, one of the festival goers. Security was tight, with event goers subjected to at least 6 security checks complete with body searches and in some areas sniffer dogs. The festival usually attracts hundreds of thousands of people, but only a few thousands were allowed to attend this year's festival. The Oromo, while being the country's largest ethnic group, traditionally have expressed frustration over the perceived marginalization. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed is the country's first Oromo leader, but he faces growing criticism by Oromo people that he hasn't done enough for them. The Eritrea festival marks the end of the rainy season and the start of the harvest. Moving straight for our next story for today, Mali sees spikes in malaria cases, fatalities. Malaria cases in northern Mali have spiked, according to medical workers, claiming 23 lives in the often lawless desert region last week alone. Mali's Ministry of Health said this week that 59 people have died of malaria in the north since the start of the year, almost double the number of deaths over the same period last year. Already struggling to curb coronavirus, the poor Sahel country is also fighting the brutal jihadist insurgency active in the north and center of the country. Medical workers in the north registered 13,000 malaria cases between September 21 and September 27th, marking an 88% increase in the previous week. 23 people also died over that period, the health ministry said. At the moment, the health system is really overwhelmed, said Sheikh Ag Ofeng, a health center administrator in the northern town of Kidal, who called the situation very alarming. Mahamadou Sangari, a doctor in the northern town of Agelhok, said malaria has been wreaking havoc since the arrival of the rainy season. The World Health Organization's warning treating severe cases is difficult in the remote north, he added, raising the likelihood of fatalities. Malaria claims hundreds of thousands of lives across the African continent every year. But the World Health Organization warned in April that the coronavirus pandemic could disrupt campaigns against the mosquito-borne disease, leading to a spike in the cases. Rudy Lukamba, a Red Cross doctor in Mali, told AFP that COVID-19 has absorbed a lot of attention and redirected some of the funds, which has caused delays in prevention activities. Cleaning up wetlands, clearing bush woods, drying up puddles, Distributing mosquito nets and raising public awareness requires resources, he said. Swatches of Mali lie outside government control after a jihadist insurgency emerged in 2012 and triggered a deadly conflict which has since spread to the center of the country. Failure to end the long-term running conflict contributed to anger towards President Ibrahim Keita, whom young military officers toppled in a coup on August 18th. Moving on to our next story for today, Ethiopia bans flight over mega dam for security. Quoting the head of Ethiopia's Civil Aviation Authority, the Reuters news agency has confirmed that the country has banned aircraft from flying over the ground Ethiopian Renaissance Dam in the north of the country for security reasons. We had published a post earlier on this story based on details from Ethiopia's reported newspaper. All flights have been banned to secure the dam, Wesena Hongania told Reuters without giving any more information. The Jer dams, the Blue Nile, the Nile's main tributary, Egypt, which is downstream, has called it a threat to potentially existential proportions. The country almost totally relies on the river for its water supply. There have been increased tensions between Egypt and Ethiopia over the dam, but the two countries, along with Sudan, are part of an African Union process to try and resolve their differences. Kenya MPs face unrest over deadly political clash. The head of Kenya's police force has ordered the arrest of 2 MPs in connection with an outbreak of violence between rival political supporters that left 2 people dead and several injured. Indingi Inyoro and Alice Wohoma are accused of hiring people to instigate clashes between supporters of President Uhuru Kenyatta and those backing his deputy William Ruto. Police Chief Hilary Mutebea has also ordered that vehicles hired to ferry goods be tracked and detained to assist investigations. Supporters of President Kenyatta and those backing his deputy, Mr. Ruto, pelted each other with stones and bent ties outside a church in central Kenya. The police fired tear gas, some of which went into the church. The 2 leaders have fallen out largely due to Mr. Ruto's intention to run for president in 2 years' time when Mr. Kenyatta steps down. And in our last story for today, 8 migrants dead and 12 missing off the Djibouti coast. The United Nations Migration Agency says at least 8 migrants have died and 12 more are missing at sea after being forced off a boat by smugglers near the coast of Djibouti. More than 30 people on board, thought to be Ethiopian, have been attempting to return to East Africa from Yemen. A spokesperson for the International Organization for Migration said 14 survivors are receiving medical treatment in Djibouti. Some 14,000 African migrants are stranded in Yemen trying to return home after being expelled by Saudi Arabia as part of measures to control the coronavirus pandemic in their country. This is where we end today's episode. Please like, share, comment. Let us know your thoughts on this particular episode. If there is any case of stranded people in your country, let us know in the comment section below so that we can report about that for you. This is where we end today's episode. Thanks for watching.